Hi, my name is Susanna. I am a sophomore. I am from China. Um, at the fashion show, I'll be wearing the traditional Tibetan chuba dress. It is a dress that Tibetan women wear on a daily basis. Um, it has a cultural significance because Tibet is very isolated. It has its own religion and culture, so the dress is a very good representation of its culture and religion.
嗨，我的名字叫朱行奇，今年是我第一年在富尔曼大学。我今年19岁，我来自中国江苏省无锡市，它位于上海的旁边。我准备穿的是中国唐朝的传统服装。Hi, the costume that I'm wearing is the costume for Tang Dynasty. It's a dynasty like 1,000 years ago in mainland China, and actually the costume is majorly for scholars in the society. So like the scholars write poetry. The costume is actually made of silk. It's actually the best material that people used to make clothing at the time.
Halo, nama saya Jenny. Saya adalah siswa di Furman University. The traditional element of the clothing is not necessarily the style of the actual clothing, but the design of the patterns that are on it. Batik is a very old and traditional design that has been used in numerous parts all over Asia. It was introduced to the West by the colonization of the Dutch in Indonesia. The way it's made is using wax on a piece of cloth and then dyeing it in different ways to create the pattern that the artist is looking for.
私の名前は谷梨紗子です。2年生で今コミュニケーションを習ってます。このファッションショーで私は今から着物を着て登場します。Kimonos are made of thick cotton and there's a lot of colors with Japanese symbols like cranes, peach blossoms, but also there's the modern ones. There's also like roses and there's a lot of patterns.
私の名前は野口康則です。日本から来ました。3年生です。今日はジンベエを着ます。Today I'm gonna wear jinbei. This is a relaxing clothes for summer where it is really humid and really hot. Jinbei doesn't have so long history. It was started to wear maybe 400 years ago. People wear jinbei for going out for summer festival.
안녕하세요. 저는 한국에서 온 1학년 이선엽입니다. For today's fashion show, I'll be wearing hanbok, which is Korean traditional outfit. As Korea has been westernized, people don't usually wear them on a regular basis, but some people still wear it in the weddings or traditional holidays and celebrations. Hanbok is still important in Korea because Korean people wore it in their entire history, and Korean culture and our ancestors' wisdom are still woven into hanbok.
Sambano nama tugusda ringitak.
Sambano nama nami ringitak. Bipota kursiayuta. So I'll be wearing a Mongolian traditional clothes called Dil, and the one I have is very simple. It has a color and it looks like a long rope that is ankle length. It is very normal to see older people wearing them even in the cities, but our generation are very westernized, so it is also normal to see for nomadic Mongolian people in the countryside wearing them every day. We have a long silk material that we wrap around as a belt, And in the ancient times, they believed that it protected your organs while riding horses. And these Mongolian clothes are made to fit nomadic lifestyle. So it keeps you warm during winter and keeps you cool during hot summers. There are about 400 different styles of bid and 20 different styles of hats. And fun fact is that Queen Amidala from Star Wars, her clothes was inspired from Mongolian traditional clothes.
Chúng nó mới ta sao mà chúng nó aku FUISA fashion show mà mà yếu ya vô song check to me Angie Jimbo Angie with yo mà nàng có giá thì bảo cho bài chính cho bài. So I will be wearing Burmese traditional dress at the FUISA fashion show. I will be wearing a more formal dress, and my friend Grace will be wearing a casual version of it. It's still very common to see people around wearing it on a daily basis, but the one that I'll be wearing is kind of formal. So we wear it at Buddhist like monasteries and donation ceremonies, weddings, and more like formal occasions. It's pretty similar, but the formal version has more sequins and jewelry, more gems, to make it more elaborate and fancy. The bottom part of it is called longji or tame, and it's a wrap around worn by both males and females. And for females, they wear it with a blouse with buttons at the front or on the side, and to make it more formal, they will add a shawl on the side and put up their hair in a bun. And for males, they would wear a collarless shirt with a traditional jacket and a turban on the hat.
Xin chào các bạn, tớ là Cần Quỳnh Phương, tớ đến từ Việt Nam, tớ đến từ Hà Nội. Và hôm nay tớ xin giới thiệu về áo dài cho tất cả bạn bè quốc tế ở Furman. So I and other Vietnamese students at Furman will be wearing áo dài. It's a national traditional dress in Vietnam, and it's the most recognizable. And so áo dài is worn during national events, during school ceremonies, during wedding ceremonies. So it's basically like our patriotic symbol, and it's something that we are proud of.
Xin chào các bạn, mình tên là Christina Nguyễn. Hiện tại mình là sinh viên năm thứ 2 của trường Furman. Mình đến từ thành phố Hồ Chí Minh, Việt Nam. Và hôm nay mình sẽ mặc áo dài là một bộ quần áo truyền thống của Việt Nam. So for this fashion show, I'll be wearing a traditional Vietnamese costume that is called áo dài. It literally means a long dress. Our costume consists of two parts. It's basically like a long tunic that goes over your long silk pants. But in general, it looks very beautiful. It resembles beauty, harmony, and purity. This dress is most often worn by women in Vietnam, but men can also wear it as well, but it looks a little different. We wear this dress on a lot of special occasions, mostly traditional holidays and some events like traditional weddings or school holidays. It's also very often worn by high school students. When I think of áo dài, I would probably say something like less is more. The less you reveal, the more people wonder. I'm saying it because Vietnamese dress is very conservative, so it doesn't reveal much of the skin, but I still think that it makes a lot of women look very beautiful.
नमस्ते, मेरा नाम यश सिंह है। मैं फर्मन में सीनियर हूँ और मैं लखनऊ इंडिया से हूँ। For the fashion show, I'm going to be wearing a kurta. A kurta is a casual as well as a formal wear dress for India. A kurta is kind of a shirt, but it's a lot longer and it's made of a thin cotton or cloth. It can be completely plain in color, or it could have a lot of elaborate designs on it as well. A kurta is worn for many occasions. It can be worn around the house for just leisurely wearing it, or the more intricate designer ones can be worn at formal events or family gatherings such as an engagement, ceremony, even birthdays. But in India, kurtas are usually kept for really big events or the plain ones for just wearing around the house.
নমস্কাৰ, মোৰ নাম আনিছ হয় আৰু মই ফৰমেনত ফ্ৰেছমেন হয়। মই অসম ভাৰতৰ পৰা আৰু মই ফেশ্বন শ্ব'ত শ্বেৰৱানী পিন্ধিম। Sherwani is an Indian formal dress. It's equivalent to suits in Western countries. It's worn in very formal occasions such as marriages or parties, and it's an elaborate form of the salwar kurta. It's influenced by the Hyderabadi Nawabi style, so it has a lot of jewels and gems in it. You can also take a scarf around your neck to add an accessory to it.
अस्सलामुअलैकुम, मैं फरिया अबरार हूँ और इस साल मैं एक फ्रेशमैन हूँ। मैं पाकिस्तान से हूँ और आज मैं शलवार कमीज पहनकर दिखाऊंगी। Today I'm going to be wearing a gharara, which is a traditional Pakistani dress. It's almost like a big skirt. This dress is primarily worn by brides.
अस्सलाम वालेकुम, मेरा नाम महमूद है। मैं आज पाकिस्तान को रिप्रेजेंट कर रहा हूँ यहाँ इस फैशन शो में। Today I'm going to be representing two dresses from my country. The first one is called Shalwar Kameez. It's like a baggy shirt which is long and then a baggy pants which is white in color. We usually wear this dress to go out in markets, and usually on the Friday prayer it's more of a traditional and cultural Pakistani dress. The other one which I'm going to be representing is Sherwani, which we usually wear in it's like a formal dress for Pakistan, so it's like our suit. So if you go to a wedding, we would wear a Sherwani. If we are at a like an engagement or something like that. So that's what we're going to be representing today. Thank you.
Namaste. मेरा नाम Samikshya Pandey हो अनि म नेपालबाट आएको म घाघरा चोली लगाउँछु. Nepal has got different ethnic groups, and different ethnic groups have their own dress, but what I'm going to wear today is regarded as the national dress of our country. I'm wearing a blouse, and traditionally it is usually red or black in color, and then I'm going to wear a sari. The sari length in our culture varies from the knee length to ankle length, but I'm going to wear a knee length. And the pattern in our sari is it used to be with red background color and then a big flowers that is called dali grass, and that is also regarded as national flower of our country. But right now it's just any patterns. And the cultural significance of that dress is that our mother hands us with that dress in our early teens, so that it just symbolizes that we're becoming a woman.
مرحبا، أنا اسمي لين وهيبة وأنا من سوريا. أنا رح ألبس شيء اسمه عباية. What I'll be wearing is called abaya. It is worn in both Syria, Lebanon, and other Arabic countries. Most worn in Syria, though. It is very old. It is not worn very much now. It is mostly used as a belly dancing costume, as some might view it. Some of them are made of silk. Some of them are made of cotton. There are many qualities that you can buy the abaya. There are many colors. For belly dancing, it is usually colorful. It comes with a thingy around the waist, and it just makes a lot of noise. Sometimes it can make more noise than the music itself.
Hola, soy Dina Estrada, estoy en mi primer año de la universidad y yo nací en Mexico. What I'll be wearing in the fashion show is going to be an escaramuzada. It is a Jalisco traditional dress that consists of a very wide skirt that when it is opened up, it creates a star in the middle. The blouse is made out of a manta, which is 100% cotton, and it is usually used nowadays in special occasions, holidays, festivities, and probably weddings.
Moi, je m'appelle Mathilde, je viens de France et pour le défilé de mode, je vais
porter une robe avec un trench français. For the fashion show, I'll be wearing a trench coat, which is a raincoat that is made of waterproof cotton drill, but it can also be made of leather or poplin, but the one I will be wearing is made of cotton. It is a trench that whose lengths can vary from ankle length to knee length for the shortest. The color is traditionally the color is khaki, but most of them are now beige, so the one I'll be wearing will be beige. It has straps around the wrists that are buckled up, and it is usually worn with a belt around the waist. So you can you can fasten it in front or at the back of the coat. And it has 10 double-breasted buttons, front buttons in the front, so they are brown and so they stand out in contrast with the color of the trench itself. It has a big collar, and so you can, if you want to be more fashionable, you can actually lift it, and some people do, especially to shelter from the rain and the wind in France. It originated in the first place during the First World War in Brittany, but also in France. So French officers and British officers used to wear them at that time, and it became fashionable and remained fashionable after the war.
Medina Gasase from Ghana, me a sophomore at Furman University, and then I share a Tadia friend Kente for this fashion show. So the cloth I'll be wearing called Kente is hand woven. It's a woven cloth, and it's basically worn during sacred occasions. It's considered more sacred, and it's used for rites such as bed rites and during naming ceremonies and all that. And it's mostly associated with people of power and the people of prestige. And how that cloth came about was in the late 1700s, there were two guys who actually observed a spider work. So they just looked at how the spider work was, and based on that they decided to make a cloth out of it. So they proposed that idea to the chief of their town, and the chief also proposed it to the greater king of that particular domain. So they adopted that cloth for royalty. So it was mostly associated with royalty, but as it became larger, as its production became larger, it went on to other people who could also buy it. So it's mostly associated with wealth.
Matthew, Ephraim Isopera, I'm a God's red, Nifri Ghana, Meshe Kente. Kente is a very special cloth, very, very special to the Ghanaian society. People usually wear it to weddings, engagements, on their graduation day. What I'm going to wear right now is Kente, and I wore it to my graduation, my high school graduation. It's very expensive. Not many people own it. Usually kings and queens have it.
Hey, my name is Yolanda, and I'm a junior this year, and I'm from China. For the international fashion show, I'm wearing a Rwandan dress. It's called Mishanana, and it's a traditional dress that people wear on a daily basis, but not anymore. Now people only wear them to church, to social events, or to any formal stuff like that. It's basically a long floor-length dress with a piece of cloth going over your shoulder, and girls usually wear them with tank top and things like that. It's wear a lot in dance shows, and it's usually very bright colors to show the colorful of the nature and show the flow of the dress when they're dancing.
أنا عسامة، اسمي سارة، أنا من تونس، وهذا عمل هون في Furman University. So the design of the jubba today is basically the same as it was in the past.
but designers like try to keep it more modern and fashionable with like colors, jewelries, and different like fabrics. So it can be like a long dress, a short dress. The one that I will be wearing is kind of formal one that we usually wear like in weddings and religious ceremonies.
Dine Brooksum Sango Chogak Zambia, Nzavara Vovaravak Zambia, and I'm a sophomore. Yeah, I'll be wearing some white shirt, which is just like any traditional ordinary white shirt, because that's what we wear for our tradition. And then I'll be having a kilt, like a Scottish kilt, which will be like red in color but black stripes. This is what we wear for our tradition back home. And the history about the dress code came about because the chief back then used to interact with the British and the Scottish, so that's how it came out to be that he was introduced to the kilts, and it has been in our tradition for so long now. And people wear the kilts and some kind of a green hat during traditional ceremonies. You won't see people wearing these in our day-to-day life, but pretty much during traditional ceremonies.
Girl, the way you moving got me in a trance. DJ turn me up, ladies get so dance. I'm a superstar, you don't even pay, and I'ma throw this money while you do it. Girl, the way you